Interesting flavor. I will definitely be back because we're here for another week. All right, only in Oaxaca. Today is going to be a very delicious day in Oaxaca, and that's because we are taking the ancestral food tour with Where Sidewalk Ends. It's not just about food, it's about the history, the culture, the politics of food in this city. Today, we're going to start here at Mercado de la Merced. We're going to learn about some of the vendors, and then we're going to meet some of the women who are defying gentrification in this city, running successful businesses. We're going to hit a couple of street food spots that most people don't know about. And of course, you know, I'm going to try some food I've never had and probably foods that you've never heard of. But first, I need to meet our guide, Christian.
You've been in Puebla and you see that there's like a lot of people going around because it's a big city and they have like a lot of things to do.
Just met Christian, and I think he's going to be the perfect guide. I told him, let's be frank about history. Don't try to smooth it over. Let's call colonization what it was. It was an invasion. It created some beautiful houses, but let's talk about the reality of what it did to the culture and how it impacted the food. He has some strong opinions, so I think this is going to be my kind of tour. I really want to know what locals think, especially about the food culture in Oaxaca. First up was tamales at a local's favorite spot, and they have everything there from crickets to the famous Oaxaca yellow tamales, and it was fantastic. We took them into the food court to try a very special traditional drink, and the owner was there and decided that he would actually give us a demonstration on how to make this drink. It was so fantastic because I would have just ordered this in the past as a regular tourist without knowing everything that went into it. Wow, it is so hard.
So this is Diego, and he's from Honda San Diego.
Diego shares one of the most traditional drinks in Oaxaca that most tourists miss, and that is Chocolate Atole. It is a pre-Hispanic drink that begins with a corn base and fermented cacao. And it's different from other drinks because it isn't boiled. You have to mix it by hand with a molinillo to make the espuma or foam.
You want to try?
Acá es muy fácil hacer espuma.
Okay, much easier.
Más rápido.
Más rápido.
It's like a fire camp when you try to start a fire.
I've never started a fire. Es porque tiene los brazos fuertes.
Okay, un poquito más. Vamos.
Okay.
Solamente sube, baja. Y tenemos.
Do you want to try? Ellen is strong. You should try. It's not easy. Faster, faster, faster. Oh, I think you're better than me, actually. You are better than me.
Bien. Cocina en casa, ¿eh?
You're the one that cooks. No,
one that cooks.
I am the one that cooks.
You can make the ceremony.
Exactly.
So traditionally, the name of this palette is called alcahuete. So the name of this is alcahuete because, as again, just imagine that we have separated the corn and the cacao. So we don't stir it like this. The traditional way to drink this is that you're gonna mix it from the middle, doing this. So that's the alcahuete, is putting together the two of them.
The marriage of two ingredients.
Exactly, marrying the two ingredients.
Drinking very chocolatey, I like that.
All of these herbs that you see here is quelites. So for example, this is wild cilantro, this is perejil, this is ¿cómo se llaman? Quintonil. Verdolaga, ¿verdad? Este es el hierba de conejo, pasote, flor de calabaza. All of this is herbs that grows in the milpa.
Now, the milpa seems like a faraway land, but actually, it's the traditional farming system that grows corn, beans, and squash on the same land. You know, the way farming used to be before big business ruined it. But here in Oaxaca, many people still practice it today.
She's selling masa, and the corn masa, which is basically it's really important for Mexican culture and Oaxacan cuisine.
We did not leave the market without picking up something. We got some masa that this woman makes every day. She goes to bed at 11 p.m. She wakes up at 3 a.m. and she begins the process to sell it at the market, which is incredible. I did not ask how old she was because that's rude, but like she is just so active and you see her kneading that dough. It's incredible. Wow.
Now this type of mercados, we know it as tianguis.
Yeah.
Because the tianguis is just like a market that is there for like 1 or 2 days and then they move. So you're gonna see also that in Oaxaca, the art of the people is expressed here. For example, you see a little quote that says, no a la gentrificación, it's like no gentrification.
We're on the street to meet a woman whose family has been serving traditional food outside their home for 3 generations, in a neighborhood where recently gentrification has forced out most of the original residents.
Sí, órale. Van a ser 4 memelitas.
4 ya un momento.
Sí.
Pero sin grosería.
Hola, buenos días.
Sí, ahorita me dice.
Sí,
Buenos
sí.
días, ¿eh?
Sí.
Esto se le llama amasar la masa.
And she's really famous in this neighborhood, Jalatlaco neighborhood, because this is the only one that makes memelas in the street. ¿Cuánto de su papá, su abuelo, desde qué?
Mi abuelo esta casa la compró en 1950.
Ah, it's 3 generations.
Sí, no es cierto.
This is for you. This is we have
No
lard.
pork.
And you can use this salsa, which is like fresh made.
Esta tiene asiento. Aquí hay salsita, ¿eh?
This is fresh made.
So I get this almost similar with taco, but the name is memela. Then I try Oaxaca chili because I like spicy. Let's try how spicy it is. Bismillah. I like the cheese, and
You
it's
love
not
the cheese.
and it's not spicy for me. You can see. I put the chili in the middle, but yeah, luckily I feel it's still fine now.
Now, I first visited Oaxaca in 2010, and in 15 years, so much changed. Of course, everything changes in 15 years, but I definitely noticed it in Oaxaca. And in Mexico altogether, there is this ongoing conversation of gentrification, not just of foreigners, but also of rich Mexicans basically buying up land, turning them into apartments or Airbnbs, but it's forcing a lot of people out of their own neighborhoods. This stop, I think, is a great example of this because we are at Memelas Toñita. She is the only person in this neighborhood selling memelas, which I've had in Puebla, but I'm sure they're going to be fantastic here because she has masa. She makes these to order from the market. We picked it up. We also have some frijoles, some pork lard called asiento, and you know that famous Oaxaca cheese. I think this is going to be so good. You can see it's not too hard. It's still super soft. And so good. You have this layer of delicious pork goodness. We've got the beans, which is also fantastic, and Oaxaca cheese, so good. Alan actually, I think, would come back to Mexico just for that. And would you believe she's only selling these for 15 pesos? I think she could serve it for double or triple. They're that good. I have learned, because we are now in Oaxaca, it's not called Oaxaca cheese, it's called quesillo, and it is delicious.
We are here because do you remember that we buy quelite, which was the yerba santa? So she is gonna make a special taco with our masa and with yerba santa. that she's gonna make an egg on top of the yerba santa and then put it on a taco.
Oh, sounds delicious.
It's gonna be a special one, but you can choose one or two from here. Meanwhile, the other one is available. Okay, she's gonna make for you.
Next stop, we are at Tacos Tia Chayito, and I love this because it's one of Christian's favorite spots to eat. This spot is fantastic. So, the comida corrida starts at 1 p.m. But if you come beforehand, if you want to come for like a late breakfast, they actually make tacos, and they do tacos de cazuela, those stewed dishes, very traditional. I think they have like 12 different options. They've got vegetarian, they've got chicken, beef, they've got lots of different options. Now, Christian told me this is not typical to Oaxaca, but when you're in Oaxaca, if you're going to see anything with ribs, you gotta get it. So I'm going to get in on this. Oh yeah, that was good. At first you get a little bit of the tomato sauce, and then you get like that big, meaty flavor, and then you get punched a little bit with the smoky pepper. So good. And also, we brought some masa, and we also brought some hierba buena.
Yerba santa.
Hierba santa.
Yeah.
What is hierba buena?
It's another
one. It's another one. We brought some hierba santa, and they did something so interesting. On the camal, they actually put an egg. They cracked it on the leaf and then put it on this tortilla. I do think we're going to need a little bit of salsa for this. I learned from Christian that if you want to know if you've got a good tortilla, when they cook it, it should really puff up. So they put it on, turn it over, it puffs up, cooked perfectly, then they flatten it, and then it is ready to eat. Just gonna give you a little look at that. I'll be honest, this leaf has like almost like a perfumey smell. I don't love that flavor, but I could be wrong. Maybe this is the first time I'm gonna love it. You can smell it, but it doesn't taste like perfume. That's actually really interesting. So this you will find in many dishes in Mexico. If you smell that kind of perfumey smell, it's probably it. It's a big leaf. Interesting flavor. Fantastic spot. I will definitely be back because we're here for another week. Thank you for bringing us here.
So this gallery is gonna be a little bit crude because all the people, all the artists that work in here, they represent the crudeness of what is Oaxaca and how for the past 7 years the government have been exploiting the tourism and the food and the culture as a Disney attraction. You know, now we have 10 different Michelin star restaurants, but they don't have any. The government or even the owners of the restaurants or the owners of the business, they never talk about what's the history or what's the background of all the food that we have here.
The culture.
The culture.
As you can see, we are not just on a food tour. This is a whole education about Oaxaca, about our food, about politics, about gentrification, about what's happening in the world right now. But it's all connected to food. This is what I love about taking food tours and about having amazing guides with opinions who I'm so glad I said to him, please tell me like it is. Tell me what you really think, because I am here to learn. Next up, a drink from the gods. Tejate is a pre-Hispanic drink and another Oaxaca foam, just like a breakfast. It's made from toasted corn, fermented cacao, toasted meme seed, and some dried flowers. And it's also known as the original Red Bull. Oh, that's so cute.
Okay. It's called tejate, and remember I was telling you that they have their own segments called Oaxaca foams.
Yes.
So this is one of these. As you can see, on top of the tejate, you can see the foam. I call it the Red Bull, the Oaxacan Red Bull, because it's an energetic drink.
This is so interesting. I don't know how to explain the flavor. It's like,
It's like nutty, vanilla.
it is nutty. It does have some vanilla. It does feel like a little bit of cacao. Almost feels like a little bit of coffee. It's very interesting.
And you can feel like a little bit of chunks in your throat. That's the corn because it's crushed.
Oh.
You see how is it
that's right.
the settlement? Or it's like a sedimentation of the corn. That's what you.
I like it. 35, and this is very large.
This is a drink traditional from Oaxaca, so you're not gonna find it anywhere
Right.
else. Only in Oaxaca.
All right, only in Oaxaca.
Sí, claro.
This is Tia Chayito,
Ah, mucho gusto.
the patrona de voz.
We stopped off at a place that is called Tacos de Cazuela Tia Chayito, and we are going to have a different taco because there are so many that you can have. This one is made out of blue corn tortilla, and Christian showed us how to tell real tortilla, blue corn, from the fake. Just put a little bit of lime on it and wait for that pink. If it turns gray, you know that they are not giving you the right one. You can see it's already starting to turn a little bit pink, and it'll keep going as the lime changes it. Now, this is chile de agua.
Yeah.
And inside, it's not just cheese. They also have ground meat in it, and also it's been dipped in egg and fried. And it looks delicious. This is, I think, 35 if you get the cheese. How can you be in Oaxaca and not have quesillo?
Quesillo, yeah.
Oh yeah, this is good. It's a little bit spicy, and when you come here, it is after 1 o'clock on a Monday, and everyone here is just coming out from their offices. So I feel like when it's not a bunch of tourists around, you know it's going to be a good place.
Tepache, ¿verdad?
Yeah.
The agave plant is so important in Oaxaca, but not just for mezcal. Today we're going to try agua miel, which is the fresh juice from the plant.
Probably 0.1% alcohol, and it is what happens in the beginning before it ferments and turns into pulque. I've been told by Ian that this should have the consistency of a dark beer as it is starting to ferment. Oh, I love it. It's fizzy. It's very fizzy and sour. If you kind of like sour beer or sour drinks, this is fantastic. It is full of probiotics, so it's actually very healthy to drink. And the funny thing about this is, pulque was a pre-Hispanic drink, but in the 40s, the beer producers came in and started saying, you know, the only people who drink pulque are poor people. And so people stopped drinking it and started drinking beer. And you know, Mexico has such a big, strong beer culture. But what I love and I've noticed on this trip is that there are a lot of places, not just traditional places, but also modern places that are kind of bringing pulque back. It's very, I think, trendy to have a pulqueria. And so it's like this renaissance of this drink that actually is delicious. And at 0.01%, you could have some and then you don't have a hangover at all the next day. And this is the end of this video, and I cannot believe it because I have learned so much. I really started this thinking I would go on a food tour, but I feel like I have been on this journey of understanding not only the history and the culture of Mexico, pre-Hispanic, but what is happening today, today's issues and challenges in Mexico. And, you know, I just think this is such a good tour. If you want to take the tour, it's with where sidewalks end. And be sure to ask for Christian because he will tell you the real deal of things going on. Just tell him. He doesn't need to be politically correct. Tell him you want to hear what he really thinks because what he has to say is very interesting. In the next video, I'm going to be back on a tour with where sidewalk ends, doing something different, but I know it's going to be tasty. See you then.